First, thanks a lot for showing us around this absolutely gorgeous exhibition. I would like to ask you some questions concerning the future livable city. Where do you see the challenges, especially for Europe?
Well, I think the main challenges is what very soon there will be no fossil fuels, so we will have no energy. So this transition to the energy neutral is very hard to make actually, because people really don't sometimes understand that. So as an urbanist, I'm trying to find out, telling people like, yeah, why we should do that? What's good for you? So this transition to the energy neutral, it's hard and it's a challenge, but we're doing good. We create lots of ideas, lots of design ideas. Some of them are crazy, but I think in my studio we have really nice ideas what can happen. But of course the challenge is who will pay for it, and after a crisis it's always very hard to find big amount of money to invest in this. I think another challenge that's happening recently, it's refugees. So becoming more and more people, and right now lots of students I know we're making thesis about refugee camps and how we can do that. So it's raised up this question about social inclusive city. So everyone has a right to live in a city and enjoy the city, but not everyone actually do it right now. So some people really have a nice future now, but somewhere people just can't use the same facilities. They're just pushed out of the city. I think that's very important. And of course the challenges is like after a crisis there's not so much money to spend, so we need to come up with a very smart solution. We need to find right people, we need to find a right goal, right place, we need to show it, we need to persuade people to do that, we need to find people who wants to do that, and we also need to find someone who wants to pay for that. And I think that's the biggest challenge.
Okay.
We have lots of great ideas how we can change the city. We always start with ideas, not everyone gonna pay for that.
Okay, let's move down to Africa. Where do you see the challenges for Africa?
I think we're developing really great, and of course we have lots of problems, and for us as Europeans living in such a good environment, such a comfort, coming home, having shower, electricity, not worrying about anything, and we just don't have anything, and we sometimes we still don't understand a lot about Africa. It's a big country, we try to help them, but I think the biggest challenge for us is try to help them, but keep their identity, listen to them and find out actually how they want to live, because it's not exactly how we want to live. They want to have their own opinions, have their own culture. We really need to take care of it, and we need to work together. We don't need to work for them, we just really need to collaborate on them. So that is very...
Right. Where do you see the challenges in Asia?
Asia will be very hard for me because I've never been there, but their urbanization is pretty rapid there. So I think for them is what I hear. I'm sometimes worried, like lots of people are moving from a farmer from rural land, have been forced to move in the city. And then it's the question, who's going to grow the vegetables, how it's going to happen. So everything going to be about manufacturing, and also the question, so how are people going to earn money if they've been raised up as farmers. So I think that's the biggest problem with urbanization, changing the economy, the job I did before, in something new.
Maybe last question. I read somewhere that technology is going to have a big impact, so technology is going to be the answer. But what are the questions? Maybe from a personal point of view, what are your questions you ask yourself concerning the future livable city?
Actually, when you've been on virtual reality, I kind of like this question about technology. Like right now we have so much data, and the data helps us to find a really nice solution, find a problem. But also I see that as a problem what we lose our privacy. And I've been working on a project which shows like we have so much information, it's too much dangerous. So I think right now we have such a good technologies, but we need to keep up to the ethical morality. What can we do and what we should not do, because we just lose everything about ourselves, become too much globalized, we show too much. They just sometimes think what we really want and just think about what we can do, and not really let's do everything, let's be on robots. Now we should be people and should remember who we are.
And absolutely last question. Now we talked a little bit about the global citizen. What is a global citizen?
Well, I think global citizen is a person who open the internet, he learn about the problems and he take care of it. He really feel very sorry what something happens there, and he try to do something. And sometimes you just think about what's actually behind what you're doing and what you're consuming. like if you buy cheap clothes, what does it mean? It actually means what someone was underpaying to make these clothes. And it's nice, but as a global citizen, you start to think where it comes from, how did it happen, and then you try to do your best to think it really bothers you and it's not a problem just in China. Maybe it's also your problem and you want to do something with it and you try your best to do something with it.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.